being liked by everyone is actually completely unnatural when you are embodying your fullest essence. When you are in your own frame and you're living a life that is completely authentic to you, and you are making decisions that are in line with your values, you are going to automatically upset certain people. It's only because not everyone shares your values. So that's why it's important to know what your values are. Because if you don't have values, it's very easy for you to get swept up into things that aren't for you, to become someone that you don't even relate to, just to be liked. And there is a huge difference between being liked and being loved. And to really be loved, you have to accept that who you are is not for everyone. Tension is really fun when you get used to it and you get comfortable with it. I know that when I started posting pole dancing videos, it was interesting to see my audience on Instagram change. And I used to go to a dance studio growing up with a lot of children, and they tended to be a little bit more conservative at the studio. I wasn't really appreciated for the, I would say, racy clothes that I would wear. I kind of got shunned for being too sexy, for being too mature for my age. I think I really just got shunned because I was living in my truth and finding my own sense of style, and that wasn't really something that was wanted for. No one really wanted us to find our own sense of style because it went against the values that they had. So I didn't have values that were in line with a lot of the people that I grew up with. That's why I really tussled a lot of feathers growing up. And in some ways it made it a little bit easier for me because I thought, well, if I'm not going to be liked by you, then I might as well just do whatever the I want to do, because there's nothing I can do to make you like me. And you know what? I don't want to be liked for something that I'm not. Getting comfortable with that tension is what allowed me to make choices that were right for my life. It's easier to stay in that little box, to be just kind of someone who isn't really in their own frame. That's who is the most likable person in the room, and that's not really natural. It's living life like that seems really depressing and unfulfilling because you're not fulfilling your own purpose. When you're trying to be liked by everyone, your purpose is to be liked. Your purpose is to fit into everyone's values, and you completely forget about what you really care about. You completely forget about your own values when you are going around trying to find that acceptance from other people. But when you learn how to let go of that control, when you find comfort in not trying to control things, when you find comfort in the unknown, that is when you really learn to change. When you find comfort in the unknown, you will no longer be happy trying to get people to like you. You will no longer be happy being a version of yourself that you don't even resonate with. Going back to the pole dancing videos that I started posting, I probably get a little bit less likes, I get a little bit less engagement, at least from the people who I grew up with. But in a way, that feels really empowering to me, because the few people that interact with my posts, the people who engage and enjoy what I post, I know that they really care about me. And that is another example of the difference between being liked and loved. And a lot of times when you try to be liked, it's because people can live through you in a certain way. You make yourself accessible to other people. You are porous. Your energy is not filled in a way. It's like, as a kid, you remain open and influenced by the adults around you. That's just how children are. But as you grow up, you need to learn how to individuate yourself and learn how to fill in those holes. Learn how to fill in the parts of yourself that you try to get rid of in order to stay safe. And when you learn how to find safety in the tension that comes with upsetting people when you are yourself, that is when you get more comfortable just being able to be yourself in the world. And it's such an uncomfortable thing at first. It's so scary and embarrassing to let people watch you try. Learning how to do these YouTube videos, and especially in the beginning, like the first couple that I made, I literally cry even just watching myself talk, even just knowing that I was talking to a camera and that people were gonna see me try was so embarrassing. But that embarrassing feeling, that tension that I felt from doing it, was a temporary feeling. And the more comfortable I got with that, the more comfortable I got with talking to the camera. And it's because I was just accepting, this is who I am and this is what I want to do. And no one really gave me permission to do it. I had to seek that permission from myself. I had to look at who I wanted to embody and the values that I aligned with. Anytime I try to avoid that tension, or when I'm living a life that just kind of feels easy, it's a time when I'm kind of depressed and bored, and I smoke a lot of weed when I feel unfulfilled. I try to numb out those feelings because I'm scared of that tension. But the more I've leaned into the tension, the more fun my life has gotten. Because now when I post poll videos, I've gotten better at it, and it's something that I really enjoy. So when people criticize me, it's like, you're at this point, like, that energy is just gonna go back to the person who's criticizing me. I don't care. I've totally given up the need for control. I know that I can't control what people think of me, and that is one of the things that's most empowering about pole dancing, in my opinion. Not only the sexuality and empowerment that expresses, but just the athleticism in general, and learning how to do all those shapes on the pole has made me really happy. It's showed me that I can work hard at something even when it's scary, even if definitely not a lot of people will approve of it. Pole dancing has always been so interesting because it's so shameful. There's so much shame around it, and embracing that people are not going to approve, embracing that people will project their own shame onto me when I do this art form, that knowingness that I don't have control over what people think of me has changed my life. And that's how you build a fulfilling life. That's how you gain wealth and authentic abundance into your life. It's such a lofty dream to be liked by everyone, to be a celebrity where everyone loves you. The reality is, if you want to have a platform and be your truest self at the same time, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of people who disagree with what you're doing. And if until you're ready to accept that, you will stay as the smallest version of yourself. And that barrier of tension that you feel, that the barrier that's keeping you in the smaller version of yourself, that is where the tension is. It's like walking up to a wall and getting uncomfortable the closer that you get to it. What if there's a door and you can just go through that door and accept that there's gonna be people who really don't like what you're doing? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And that is the best thing in the whole world. Like, tension is so fun. When I post those videos of me pole dancing, not only am I proud of myself and my own progress and all of those things that come first, but it's like I know that I'm testing people almost. It's like I know that I'm almost making people question something in their subconscious. It's like I'm questioning, why is it so shameful? Just me even bringing up that I'm a pole dancer, I think makes people wonder, how does she do it? How can you put yourself out there in a way as a woman that is so shameful? But what if it's not shameful, and what if it's actually empowering? And embracing that tension has really changed my life. And I think that's why a lot of people who started pole dancing are really almost addicted to it, because there is so much power in sexuality, not just in tension, like intention alone. There's so much power in that. And that tension that you're avoiding, that is where the pathway to your power is. That tension that you're avoiding is it's the border between the small self that you're used to being, that your ego developed in order to stay safe as a child, versus your higher self that is on the other side of that border of tension. When you can like literally get out of that border that your ego has developed around you in order to stay safe, you learned how to stay safe with controlling what people think of you. When you control what people think of you and you try to be liked, you can't break out of that barrier, but those walls are literally built of tension. And when you can say, oh, this tension actually feels good because I'm getting closer to what feels right to me, that's when you can really break free. Literally, you can step into a version of yourself that you love, not just be someone that your ego prefers, not just be someone that people can project their own lofty dreams onto. What if you don't embody all the things that someone values? Then what? What if you embody the things that you value? No one can do anything about that. And it's only you who can give yourself the permission to do that. And it's changing what is comfortable to you. It's altering your sense of safety. Instead of finding safety in being that smaller version of yourself, what if you found safety in the endless amount of possibilities of who you could be, and just listening to that intuition, noticing who you're jealous of? I've said this before in my past videos, but jealousy is such a big clue to what lies beyond that boundary of tension that you're avoiding. When you get comfortable with people disagreeing with you, then maybe you can have those things that you want so badly because you're scared of people not liking you. And the fear of not being liked stems from a deep subconscious part of our brain that we developed with our egos through our childhood. As kids, we learn how to feel safe, and we look to other people, to our mom and dad, to our community, to the people who are around us to tell us who we're allowed to be, because we need to eat, we need to survive, we need to be fed, we need to drink water, we need these survival tactics. We need to survive. And to survive, we need to be liked, because we need people to come and take care of us. But as adults, we take care of ourselves. And knowing that difference is what is going to bring you into your highest power. You can't change until you completely let go of the control. You can't change until you be okay with uncertainty and the unknown. Even people who are closest to you, even your lover, your partner, your parents, none of that matters, because even the people who you love so dearly and who love you, you might have values that differ from theirs. But that doesn't mean that you should stop what you're doing because of the people around you. And as you learn and grow into the person that you are, as you become that person, you don't even know who you could be because you haven't gone toward that border of tension. That tension, it keeps you safe. The more and more you avoid tension and the more you keep the peace, the more that you try to avoid conflict, the longer it'll take you to actually live a life that feels right to you. It's such a process to learn how to be uncomfortable and to sit with those feelings that people don't like you. Like knowing that people are watching you from afar and knowing that they don't like what you're doing, you almost have to become desensitized to that and honestly turn it into something that's empowering, because no one else is you and no one else is going to do the things that you do. And the same reasons that people dislike you are going to be the same reasons why people adore you. And just the fact that you're okay with being disliked, that is going to make you an inspiration to other people. And you will be able to unlock your fullest potential when you are completely okay with people hating you. And people may hate you, but they will respect you. And they will hate that they respect you. And that is something that is so amusing to me as I post these YouTube videos, even as I do whatever I want to do in life. I know there's always those enemies that I've had throughout my life. There's always going to be those people who have wronged me that I haven't spoken to in a very long time, they're watching me from afar, and I know they're disapproving of what I'm doing. It's not that I'm motivated by it, but I find it so amusing only because I know that I am amplifying the shame in them, and they can use that to change, or they can use that to sulk in their misery. And what they do with their feelings toward me has nothing to do with me. Even though I'm doing things that they don't like, it still makes me an influential person. I'm still influencing their feelings about me in some way. Not that I care about it, but I do want to make a difference in this world. And I know that I'm put on this earth to influence people. And I think we are all put on this earth to influence people, not in a manipulative way, but we influence other people by being ourselves and giving other people new perspectives of who we are, giving people new perspectives on life, because we all have our own experiences and our own perspectives that we share with people. And when we share those experiences and perspectives with other people, they get new ideas, they have more knowledge, their perspective grows because you've shared your perspective with them. And to me, that is what being an influential person is having the courage to share and having the courage to sit with that tension and that uncomfortability. And not only will you learn how to respect yourself, other people will respect you. You want to have a full sense of self. You want to sit in your own frame. You want to be the wholest, most fulfilled version of yourself. You got to get comfortable with bringing the tension and questioning things and not being scared to tell the truth, not being scared to tell your truth, And the more you shy away from that, the longer you'll stay in the box that you don't want to be in. And that box is who you learned to be when you were a child. It's how you sought out safety. And learn how to find safety in the tension. Learn how to find safety in the unknown. Because when you change that dynamic, you will learn to seek further. You won't want to stay as that small version of you anymore when being in that box is not safe. It really is not safe, actually, when you think about it, because you're wasting your life being a smaller version of yourself. You're wasting your life being the person that people wanted you to be. You're not even being the person that people want you to be now, because that doesn't exist. You're a new person in every moment. It's only you who's stopping yourself from being the realest, most enlightened version of yourself. And the only thing that can help you cross over into that new life is the courage to share, the courage to have everyone see you try, and the unknowingness of whether you'll fail or not. And that's completely your business. That's no one else's business whether you fail or succeed. Your job here is to share and be your most authentic self, and the outcome is completely insignificant. What will really inspire people is you being authentic and staying true to yourself and doing things that are in line with your own values. When you have a strong value system, you will be unstoppable, and you will surround yourself with people who are safe to be around, and you'll surround yourself with people who really love who you are, and you'll surround yourself with people who are okay with that tension, who will stand up for you when you're wronged. It's the worst thing in the world to be around people who aren't okay with tension, because if something happens to you or someone is disrespecting you, and they won't stand up for you because they're scared of the tension, they're scared of the conflict. And it's not good to have friends who are like that. Learn what it feels like to put yourself out there and become desensitized to that tension. Become desensitized to people not liking you, because it's a reality that you will never be able to escape when you are living an authentic life. Pay attention to the people who inspire you, and let your intuition be your guide for the kind of life that you want to live, and accept the conflict that comes with being yourself. When you tell the truth, it will always invite conflict, but it's something that must be done. It's fun to share these things with you as I'm transforming myself and going on my own journey of growing into my highest self. So thank you so much. Feel free to comment and share your insights. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's Antonia_Peterson. And I'll see you in the next one.